Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is None of Your Business, otherwise known as Biscoop. And today we are reacting to another Metatron video entitled, Is this our forcist take? I know how it's supposed to be said, but I'm going to say it like that because I feel like it. And this is actually in reference to a live stream that he did not too long ago, where one of the things that he was looking at was a Twitter post detailing the difference between real diversity, showing different cultures and their respective peoples, and then fake diversity, which shows each one of those cultures as being black, which I guess is racist, even though that's how it's supposed to be. What's happened in recent times is that basically, if you know what's going on in Netflix with certain documentaries and other forms of media race swapping people, there's that I think it's Anne Boleyn, where they had a black woman play her in some documentary. And then there's the whole Cleopatra thing, where not only did they make her black, but they made her entire family black, even though they're supposed to be Greek. And then there's the whole Assassin's Creed Shadows thing, the Black Samurai. Now, technically, we don't know if he's a samurai, but at least in Metatron's opinion, it's very likely that he's not. And basically trying to make every culture black, instead of actually taking black culture and using that in their own people and characters instead. Like the Kandake of ancient Nubia, who seem to have stood up to the Romans to the point to where they allegedly had I don't remember if it was a general or some Roman guy's skull placed under the stair steps of a certain temple, so that the people visiting the temple would basically be walking over that Roman guy's skull. But regardless, I do remember watching the live stream that this comes from, and I think it's fair that we decide to react to it so that we can remember exactly what he said. But before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe not only to me, but to the Metatron as well. Make sure you guys watch his video first, link in the description, before watching this one so that you can show your support. But without further ado, let's see how racist this take actually is.
Words have lost meaning. Oscar is absolutely right. You know what? Since we're talking about this, you know how sometimes people call me racist, blah, 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 right? I'm not going to spend too much time on this because it's ridiculous, but I do want to say one thing. It's still happening. I don't know how it's still, how this strategy of calling everyone racist, but someone did call me racist a few hours ago. And I want to see if you think that my take was indeed racist.
Oh yeah, a lot of people have a habit of calling Metatron racist because he dared to speak the truth as it is, regardless of any political backlash or political bias that you might have. He will mention the fact that the Romans and the Greeks more or less refer to themselves as white. And then you'll have people accusing them of being racist, saying, oh, they didn't have a concept of race back then. Oh, whatever. But no, he looked into the sources, and they not only did they refer to themselves as white, but they also refer to Nordic people specifically as yellow or blonde, even though in the modern day, blonde is considered white and yellow is, or kind of was, East Asian. But let's continue.
I was showing this. Now, given I personally don't use the word woke as much because I'm annoyed by people that use it constantly.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, you guys can see right here. Diversity in real life. We have a Roman soldier, Native American, Viking, Sub-Saharan, not sure if I think they're Chinese and Japanese. Meanwhile, we have this down here where they basically try to make literally everyone in ancient history black, because if you disagree, then I guess that means you're racist. And I also don't like using the term woke in this type of context. I know that the Nuxanor uses the term woke all the time because he knows that it pisses people off, but I'm not going to do that because, much like other insults that people fling at each other, it's kind of lost its meaning. The original definition of woke was to simply be aware of social issues, but it ended up being overused and misused by, it's basically the left. Well, no, not the left, but the right. But to the point to where that it's the only insult besides communist that they have. But let's go ahead and keep going.
But I did want to comment on this image here. And what I commented on this image is the following. I said, the one above is the superior form of diversity because it is based on the truth. This one here. So we have an ancient Roman, clearly European, Mediterranean, okay? We've got a Native American, we've got a Norse, we've got a Black African warrior, we've got an Asian Buddhist, probably from, I imagine from China, we've got a Japanese samurai. So we have a wonderful display of different, beautiful, rich cultures throughout the world.
As it should be, as opposed to...
And I think that
Oh, I thought he was going to go right down to the bottom half.
this is the kind of historically accurate diversity that I love and support. Then I say the one at the bottom is just political propaganda. This.
Yep, pretty much. That's what it is. Yeah, it's diversity in real life and then DEIversity in woke culture. No, as I said earlier, people throw around the word woke as if it means literally anything like this. Do you want to know what I want? Can I be slept instead? I don't want to be woke anymore. I want to be slept. I want to go to sleep so that I can dream up whatever the hell it is that makes sense in this world. But, yeah, I don't even know where I'm going with that.
Which focuses on inclusivity at all cost, including the bending of historical truth. See Netflix Cleopatra.
Yeah, I made explicit mention of Cleopatra earlier.
Even if you disagree and think the one at the bottom is fine and it doesn't bother you, which I would respect, still false, in the sense that you don't mind it, at least I would respect you more than I do those who gaslight you and tell you that the one at the bottom is not actually happening in media. It is. That's a fact, and gaslighters are bottom-feeding, manipulative liars.
Yeah, that's something that's been happening for some time, where they'll take either a historically non-black person, I was going to say white, but it's not always white. Usually it's a historical white person or even a character in like a book that's supposed to be white. The obvious example of this is Severus Snape from Harry Potter that they decided to make black because reasons, let's call them. But here in this case, it's really the same thing. It doesn't matter what culture it is, they're going to try to make everything black.
This is what I said. I stand by this position, and this is, I think, a good situation in which I'm showing a moderate take. A moderate take. Because unfortunately, in the current era in which we're living, a far left, not leaning, not right-leaning, not left-leaning, a far left take, specifically in the American context, which is different, is, no, we're going to do this, and if you disagree, you're racist, and a alt-right take on this, it would be only this one matter, everything else is inferior.
Shit, no shit. Yeah, it's like the people that say that the Romans were Nordic, even though they considered Nordic people to not only be a separate color altogether. I mentioned it earlier in the video, they considered them yellow or blonde, but they were barbarians, right?
A moderate take instead is mine, the one where I say, all of these are beautiful. I love all of it. As a European, I am particular, have a preference over ancient Rome because I'm a Roman fanboy.
Yep, a self-professed Roman fanboy. I'm not sure if I can call myself a fanboy of any one particular ancient culture, but if I had to pick one, I really can't give you an answer.
Absolutely, it's a bias of mine, but I love all of them. That's a moderate take. And the people that can't see that, well, it's their problem. It's not my problem. And of course, among these comments, we got the usual, so you're a closeted racist. Good to know.
Shut up, bitch. Fucking epic main. No, you're not epic in the slightest. You're a bitch. That's what you are.
So that happens, and it's one of the reasons why. I don't even know why people still do that. It doesn't work. No one likes it.
They do it because they're trying to morally grandstand against people that they think are alt-right neocons, even though they're probably on the same side of the spectrum as them, but they're not as far as they are, and so they still view you as alt-right neocons.
It's the kind of approach, including mildly left-leaning people. It just doesn't work. It's a tactic that doesn't work. Calling everyone a racist doesn't work. So might as well change tactic, rearrange strategy, and engage. So that's where we are, guys. When people tell me that I'm fixated with ethnicity, even though ethnically connected videos are probably like 50 or 60 in my channel, but I have 1,200 videos. So in the majority of cases, you'll hear me bitch about the wrong helmet. But sometimes I do talk.
Yeah, he likes to talk about armor from like specifically like medieval and Roman stuff. It's his quote-unquote vanilla content that in recent times hasn't been doing as well as his like React content.
Talk about correct interpretation of ethnicity, but whenever I do it, I call out both sides. If they whitewash a historical character that is black or Asian and whatnot, I call it out. And when they blackwash a character who's white, I call it out equally. So that
yeah, it doesn't matter what race they are. If someone is supposed to be black, but they made him white, that's not good. But if someone is white and they made him black, that is also not good. But for some reason, the mainstream wants to believe that the latter, blackwashing, doesn't exist, even though it most certainly does exist.
That's what I do. It's my take. It's the basis of the platform. But for some reasons, the haters tend to forget that conveniently. Because at the end of the day, if you use a word too much and you use it in contexts where it's not apt, what happens is that it dilutes the meaning of the word. This is actually a semantic occurrence. It's a phenomenon that does happen. And then what happens is that...
Yep, I mentioned this earlier in the video. You had the word woke originally meant being aware of social issues until the right hijacked it into it being any form of left-wing ideology. But the left, in particular, has all sorts of buzzwords like racist, sexist, all the things that end with phobe, and fascist, and white supremacist, and all that sort of bullshit. And at least they're creative, as Metatron would put it.
That word means nothing and then it needs to be substituted. You think that reply I got was AI generated? Maybe, who knows? I mean, it's becoming difficult, harder and harder to recognize and distinguish AI from human beings. I mean,
yeah, apparently there was some report that got released some time ago that showed that a lot of people that you may have been arguing with on social media may have been a bot, or at the very least an undercover agent trying to spread dissent and misinformation. I believe it was in Shoe on Head's USAID that she hinted at that.
I mean, isn't that part of the dead internet theory? I don't know which one is worse. Visual says apparently common sense is racist. Yeah, that is unfortunately one way to look at it.
Everything is racist to these people. You talk about crime statistics, that's racist. You talk about the migrant crisis in the UK, that's racist.
Isn't it? Common sense is an oxymoron. Yeah, it's not common at all. You're absolutely right, my friend. I couldn't have put it better myself. It's actually well said. I don't like hateful people, toxic people, and I try to remove them, block them, so I don't have to interact with them. But then where you're from doesn't matter. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person, and I won't defend you, regardless of the color of your skin.
Yeah, anyone who's gonna try to talk shit about me or anyone in my life, no, you're not welcome here. I don't need you here. You can go find somewhere else to spew all your bitch-ass hatred and shit.
And if you are a good person, then I will defend you, regardless of the color of your skin. So to me, it doesn't matter. Careful, Metro, you're in America, not Italy. Yeah, exactly. And by the way, things are starting to look in Europe. I'm actually happy to be in America.
There is someone that I know in real life that would vehemently disagree with what Metatron just said. I'm not going to say who that person is, but I might mention this video to them.
Land of the free. Not a perfect country. By any...
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mentioned that guy that I mentioned. Yeah, they probably say that it's worse than not perfect. But I'm not going to put words in their mouth.
Any stretch of definition. But the fact that I can post something on social media and I don't have to worry about it, whether it's going to have consequences, then I'm happy to be in America. Still things need to be fixed. Absolutely. I'm happy to be in America. But I also will teach them to be proud of being Americans. I'll teach them to be proud of the history that connects us to our ancestors. And the same way, I would encourage someone of an African American or an Asian American, for instance, heritage. I think they should be proud of the history and the things that they love and the culture and whatnot. But I'm not going to tell my kids, no, but it's problematic. Don't say that you're proud of European. And no, do say it.
Oh, this was something that Metatron did an experiment with some AI, Google, I think it was, some AI generator thing where Metatron put a prompt in asking the AI if they should be proud of their African ancestry, and responded, yes, you should be proud of your African ancestry because of all these reasons. And then he put in a prompt asking if he should be proud of his European ancestry and said, lol, nope, no, you're a bunch of racist colonizers who deserve nothing. I mean, that's not exactly what it said, but it may as well have said all that.
Absolutely. That's what I'm teaching my kids. Thank you, Gizgamesh has never stopped speaking facts, bro. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'll never stop speaking my mind, whether it offends or not.
That's what I'm gonna be doing with this channel. If whoever's watching is offended by anything that I'm saying, that sounds like a you problem.
But then again, the only people that get offended, they're basically in a cult. People that go nuts for takes like this, that don't
The cult of Clown World, as some people have been calling it.
involve any hatred in any way, shape, or form, they're in a cult. And at that point, I don't care about what they think. People will disagree. They will tell me, no, I disagree because of this. Great. But people that are like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, like, they're like some of the YouTubers that I watch, I don't agree with everything that they do or say. I've referenced, I've uploaded 2 reactions to the YouTuber Nuxanor, and I don't agree with everything he says. He says that I should only be agreeing with 80% of what he says. It's more like 60 to 75, at least in my experience.
Just go something in the head at that point.
Okay, only the first half of this video that he made actually talks about the Twitter post, so I might cut large parts of this reaction out so that it's a bit more to the point. But regardless, what do you guys think of this whole discussion regarding race swapping and all that sort of bullshit? Because I've already made my points known, Metatron made his points known, and I'm pretty sure plenty of other people have made their points known as well. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, but make sure that you check out Metatron's video and his channel as well, and I guess I'll see you guys next time.